Hey guys, today I want to share with you some of my favorite things to bring into the Disney parks. I'm not going to show you my exact park bag because it always tends to change. And then there are some things in here that are not here. Things that are, you know, I'm constantly using on my purse or whatever, but I'll kind of add them in. So I'll always say, no matter what the temperature is, bring water. Whether you want to bring your own water bottles, you want to bring just some, you know, plastic water bottles from the grocery store, you want to bring some filtered water bottles, bring water bottles. For us, we bring like 2 to 3 water bottles that are the filtered kind so that we can just get water from water fountains and stuff like that. And even when we get them from like quick service places, we do like to filter them because some of us don't like the taste of the water. And then what we'll typically do is all of our kids have special water bottles that are theirs. So like, you know, it's a character themed or whatever. And we actually purchased water bottles that have a spritzing fan in them. So the kids can drink the water, they can spritz themselves. It's fantastic. However, they use them for school now as well, so I don't have them. I will try to insert a picture or link it down below, but definitely get some sort of water bottle. Stay hydrated. You're doing a lot of walking around, you're doing a lot of exercising. It may be hot, it may be cool, but have water bottles. They are a must for any Disney vacation. So we always stop at our local you know, hotel, wherever it is that we're staying, and we grab tons of park maps. I have these because I send them in client packages, but I get a park map from everyone and I clip it to the inside of my bag with like a binder clip, and then that way, like if we need them, like I know the layout of the parks, I know where everything is, I don't need them anymore, but like sometimes Trevor and Jeff will need them, so I make sure to always have them on the bag so that they can pull it out if we, you know, are not together. The maps are on the My Disney Experience app, so that's always good to have, but Jeff prefers looking at a map. Sometimes that's just a paper map. He'll go back and forth. The next thing I say is we always bring autograph books. So I have every single autograph book from every single trip that we've gone on. I've made them myself by like having these little books made that I made, and then the character would sign it, but as you can see over time, because they signed right on top of it, it didn't hold, it didn't last, so we've lost a lot of these autographs. Like that one is still pretty good. So my hope actually this year is to get all these from our first trip, hopefully, because all of my kids had one our first trip. Like every single one of them had one of these books. My hope is to maybe have one of every character that we have a picture of, have it in decent enough shape that I can put it in one big book with a picture from that time that they met the character. And then we have multiple other autograph books. So we have one where we just decided to do princesses, and this one is from Walt Disney World, so you can actually put the picture in here and then have the character. Only we didn't do princesses because there's Chip and Dale. But yeah, so there's this trip that we did this one with. We have just one from the Disney store with like, this must have been a recent trip because this was Star-Lord and we've only seen him once. Or just the ones that are at Disney. I actually send these to all of my clients whenever they book a package. And I like these because it has like the year, and then there is an address there in case you want to put it there. And then we have tons. And then this one, I like that I can just print out a picture and just put it there of what we did. I will say always have tons of plastic bags. I always like to grab like 1 or 2 gallon size bags, snack bags, and sandwich bags, and I put them in my bag and we need them throughout the day. So like on our first trip we ate at Cinderella's Royal Table, and the boys got swords and those unfortunately broke, but the girls got these and they have it, and they're little wishing stars, and I like them, and I would like to put them in like a memory book or something like that. So I always like to have, you know, plenty of bags that I can put everything in. Whenever we go to the parks, I have one that just has our autograph book in it, a pen, and a Sharpie. Characters and their attendants have told me multiple times, and I've read on multiple forums, that they don't like using Sharpies because it ruins the costume or the outfit of the character if it is a non-face character. So I try to not do Sharpies, but sometimes I just have no choice, but I always try to have a couple because your pins will die, they will run out, whatever, and I just like to keep them in a Ziploc bag. And then, you know, it's real easy that whenever we're like, if we're gonna run into, what is that place called, Fairy Tale Hall or whatever, we just grab our autograph book and run in real quick with just our autograph book, and we'll leave our big bag in our stroller so that we don't, you know, have to lug it around all the time. And it's nice to be really organized that way, and then you have plenty of stuff with you, you know, in your bags. I will say that in the same aspect, our kids like to penny press, and this kind of goes with like shopping and souvenirs and stuff like that. Like, these are really cheap or free things that you can do with your child. So these are M&M containers. I'm sure you've seen this on Pinterest and everywhere, and you can just put 2 quarters and a penny in. And what I want to do is, because we've been collecting so many pressed pennies, next trip I really want to start collecting the pressed quarters, but they are very expensive. I want to say it's $1.25 to do that. So next year I want to have, our next trip, I want to have 1 for pennies and 1 for quarters. And what I like is I can just easily pop it out, give the kids the change, and then we're ready to go. And then we have these awesome books. So when we are in the parks, I will have 1 of these full and 1 of these empty. The empty one, I'll take and I'll empty it every day when we get back to our resort, and I'll just put all of the pennies in. And this is our second pressed penny book. And then we'll kind of see what we have and what we need and go through it like that. And again, this is also in its own little baggie so that I'm not sitting there digging through my bag or losing places. And it's also really nice that whenever the security guards are going through your park bag, they can just see straight through everything, and it's really, really easy for them to find. Another free-ish, cheap way to do things is by pin trading. So all of my kids have their own lanyard, and I made it a point to get very different lanyards that are all for my kids. So my oldest has a Oswald lanyard. I believe this one is Aubrey's. This is her princess one, and she actually has a few pins left from her last trip. And typically they don't wear these around that much. Some of them will, some of them won't, but typically we'll just pull out one and they'll all trade off of that one. And then once that one's empty, then we'll move to the next one so that we can get them, you know, all done. This one is Casey's, and this was like a freebie through the Disney store. So I think our next trip I actually may buy him, or maybe for like an Easter present or something, buy him his own lanyard so that he can have a cool one. And then this one is Ellie's, and it's Minnie Mouse. I do think that the Disney ones are a pretty good quality, and I do like getting them. I send my clients a Disney lanyard that's from like Party City. It's like $1. But and these ones are like, I don't know how much these ones are. I'll try to look on the app and write down below how much these are, but these are kind of expensive. But again, we have a bag of pins and lanyards, so everything is organized and in its own spot. We also have this big first aid kit because I have a very small first aid kit that I keep in my purse, but basically I'll bring this in our room and then I'll make a little one. It's maybe half of the size. It's an old makeup pouch, and I'll just put some essentials in there. But I think that every park bag should definitely have some sort of first aid kit. We have everything from tooth remedies to cough drops to packets of medicine for my kids, Afterbite, small things of sunscreen, Kleenex, blister band-aids, waterproof band-aids, this moleskin here. I always have like a chub rub stick, like everything you can think of. We like to have a few things in our park bag for a first aid kit. All of the parks do have a first aid area. I just like having my own. I cannot tell you how many times I have dug into it and just given my kids something, or in all honesty, how many times I've given other moms stuff out of mine and other moms have given my kids stuff, like if we went to the pool or whatever. It's happened before plenty of times, and I just like being prepared. In the same aspect, we like to put some sort of differentiating item on our stroller and our backpacks and things like that. So like we have this duct tape brand that is inside out, and we'll put this on a paper towel roll and put it on top of our stroller. We'll put it a little bit on our backpack so that we can pick out our stroller and backpack if we need to. In the same aspect, if you have a kid, we've always used strollers. The next time we go, Ellie will be 6. So I'm thinking that we may not use a stroller, but we still will probably bring our stroller fan just to kind of cool off and air off, and you know, it's hot in Disney. We always bring in our backpack ears. This is just Ellie's ears. So all my kids have these character ears. Some of them have a few different pairs. We have just Mickey ears that I have that I wear, and then I always, if they do not have one of these, I always try to make sure that they have a hat and sunglasses as well, but those again are all throughout my house, so I'm not gonna even try to find them, but something to protect themselves from the sun, from the heat, from all that stuff. We have a glow bag. This has like glow wands from the Dollar Tree, which my little kids always use, but again, we're getting of that age where my little kids don't really like them anymore, so we probably won't be using these much anymore, but all of my kids do love these little like necklaces. That this one doesn't use batteries. Let me find one that works. Yeah, they like light up and they do different things, and they have all kinds of different ones of these in Disney, and I actually oftentimes see these on the Shop Disney Parks app, and it may be time to get some new ones of these because these ones are dated 2015 that I bought our second trip from like the outlet or something, but my kids love these, and I like my kids having these on at nighttime when we're in the parks because it's really easy to find them. And it's just a good thing, and again, it's in its own bag. And like if we're going to the park in the morning and we're planning on coming back for dinner or something like that and then going back out, I'll leave that in my room until nighttime because I'm not going to carry it around the parks with me all day. Same thing with like if we're going out at night, we'll take the sunglasses out of our backpack. If we are not going to be doing any penny pressing that day, or we did a lot the day before, I'll leave the pennies at home because it is something that weighs down your bag. I always grab special things. If you go on any Disney forum, there'll be little special things you can do for your little kids. So obviously this isn't gonna work for my older two, but like there is these little jewels. You can buy them on Amazon. I think they were like $5 or $6, and they're just really little, you know, jewels, and you can give them to them on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and be like, hey, look, I have a jewel from the Mine Train. Or in Mickey's PhilharMagic, which I think is one of the most underrated things at Disney World, and I think it's, I know all of my kids enjoy it, but it has to be one of my favorite things to do in Magic Kingdom. And there's scenes where you can grab these from Ariel and say, hey, like, you know, reach out like you grabbed it and give it to your little kids. So find little things like that that you can do that kind of like mind blows your kids, and it's like $5 or $6, and this is something that they can say. They can bring this back to school at show and tell and be like, hey, my mom found this at Disney World, or you know, whatever. So I always try to bring stuff like that. No matter when you go, always bring Disney Park ponchos. We have so many of these. We have enough for all of us to have one, and then we have a few extras in case like they rip or they get broken or whatever. But there's been many times we've been at the parks and like a cast member has noticed that like mine's ripped and they'll let me exchange it. They're awesome. I do not buy cheap ones anymore. I only buy the Disney Park ones. If you have a stroller, get a stroller hook. It is your best friend. We love them. We put it on the back of on the top of our bag, and then like when we're loading up, if we're riding a bus or even if we're just getting in our car, we'll hook like our kids' water bottles on them. We'll hook everything, any shopping bags. We try to take advantage of making the kids wait until like a few days and have the shopping that they did be delivered to our hotel room, but 9 times out of 10 they don't want to do that. So we always like to have these on hand. And then fun things that you're doing. So like if we're going to Animal Kingdom, the last time or maybe the trip before that, we started this Wilderness Explorers book, and we didn't get very far into it at all. I think they got like 2 or 3 stickers. Let's see real quick. We have 1. Yes, maybe we only did 2 of these, but this is something we would only bring to Animal Kingdom. But it's like a little fun thing that they can do when they go to Animal Kingdom, and they get to do a little bit of educational time, and they get a sticker for everyone that they go to, and this is just a fun thing for them to do. So, you know, find those free, cheap things to do. You can download apps on your phone, like the Hidden Mickey app. We will oftentimes do that in line. Trevor has a game that's, what's it called? Heads Up, that you put on your head, and he often finds ones that are Disney themed, and they'll play that in the lines. And like I've even noticed like other little kids that are in line with them, like wanting to play and looking with the kids. You know, little things like that on your phone. I always have my phone on me. It's always in my back pocket. I always have my vlogging camera on me as well, which obviously I don't have here. I do not bring a wallet into the parks anymore. We used to bring a wallet with all their gift cards and a little bit of cash on it. Jeff always has a little bit of cash on him. I no longer bring their gift cards in really. I will just basically have them split up their purchases, and then we'll charge back to the room, and then we'll go and pay the purchases off like every day or two with their gift cards, because we know what's what. And then I'll always say, and this may not make sense to some, but bring a couple extra adult registered magic bands if you've been to Disney before. We have been to Disney so many times, and I have nothing but issues with magic bands, and it's because I have too many on my account. I make them inactive for somehow, some way they pop back on. I've watched Disney cast members make them inactive, and we still have issues, and we always have issues getting into the rooms, getting into the parks, whatever. Disney always fixes it, but like the last time I was there, I actually had my magic band just stop working. It was my custom magic band, which stinks because it was the old style and this is the new style, and so mine is like this and all of my kids are the old style, but it immediately stopped working. They could not figure it out. They couldn't get it to communicate. Disney is awesome. They went and they sent somebody over to go and get me the new, because it's a custom magic band. They went and made me a new one and brought it to me the next day. It was like, really? Like, you didn't have to do that, but they did that. So always try to have a magic band or two on you just in case. When I am vlogging, I'm obviously going to have like an extra memory card and battery with me. In our first aid kit, we'll always have hand sanitizer and things like that, and sunscreen obviously in there, but that's kind of what we bring to the parks. It's kind of pared down each year. If we aren't bringing our lunch, because we normally bring a cooler full of food, if we're not bringing our backpack cooler, then I'll bring like a few snacks. I'll throw them in the bag just in case someone is kind of cranky and needs just a little pick-me-up, and we don't want to stop and get everyone a snack, because Disney snacks are really expensive, and we try to teach our kids that like, we'll have a few Disney snacks this trip, we'll have a few Disney quick services this trip, and we'll have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 character meals and 1 or 2 sit-downs. So that we're not eating Disney food all the time because it doesn't agree with our bellies. We're saving a little bit of money and being, you know, cost efficient, and, you know, we're not just feeling like we're at Disney and just sitting and eating the entire time. And there's some really cool spots that you can sit down and eat a really cool meal. There is a really cool area in Animal Kingdom. If you go down behind Flame Tree Barbecue, especially if you go at night when they're getting ready for the Rivers of Light show, you can see them pulling the floats out. It's really, really cool. And then you're watching Everest. It's just a really cool spot to eat. Another really cool spot that I would love to eat that we've walked around but we've never eaten there is Tom Sawyer Island. I think that that would be really, really cool to find one of the little picnic areas and eat a lunch there. Epcot, there's so many beautiful places that you could go in World Showcase and just sit down and eat and enjoy World Showcase. Hollywood Studios, I can't think of any really quiet areas to eat at Hollywood Studios that would be really cool, but we love Mama Melrose at Hollywood Studios. It's one of our, well, I shouldn't say we love, I love Mama Melrose, and I always like to go there. And then the last time we went to what was the old Pizza Planet type restaurant. I forget the name of it, but it's now a Muppets themed pizza restaurant, and we actually went upstairs, and it's a really cool area. It's like made like it is a wedding reception. The kids were dancing around on the dance floor. It was just a really, really cool area to eat. But you know, half the time we have a big backpack like that too. So that's kind of also why we have a stroller, because we have a food bag, our park bag, but it works. And you know, I have 2 bigger kids. My oldest son is 13. My oldest daughter is 10. And we will give them the bag and we will say, carry this bag around. You're in charge of the bag today. You're going to help us out. And 9 times out of 10, they don't complain about it, and they just do it because I think my bigger kids are old enough to realize that it is a lot of work to go to Disney. It is a lot of work to have 4 kids in Disney, and they definitely do their part and help us kind of bring some stuff around to the parks and carry stuff around and just do their part to make sure that they're really helping us out. And it saves everyone's back, so everyone's not lugging around a bag all day. But yeah, that is what's in our Disney park bags. If there's anything I missed, definitely let me know down below. I think it's always nice to find out what other people bring that maybe I forgot about. But yeah, that's it.